We are live. We are recording. Abdullah here again. I am joined by my Lalai, Khadim Jan. And I always refer to Khadim as my Lalai because I've always seen him as a brother. And Lalai basically means brother. But before we continue, I'll just allow Khadim to introduce himself and who he is and where he comes from and the basic introduction.
Hello, everyone. So, as Abdullah mentioned, my name is Khadim Dai. I am from Afghanistan originally, but I grew up in Pakistan as a refugee. And currently, I am based in Los Angeles. Yes.
Again, thank you so much for giving me your time and agreeing to
You're
speak with
welcome.
me. But let's start from the beginning. You said you're from Afghanistan, but you were raised in Pakistan as a refugee. What was life like as a refugee in Pakistan? Like, what did you do? What activities were you involved in?
Wow. The thing is, when my family migrated to Pakistan, it was not just in order to move to another country. They were forced, and they left Afghanistan to find a place to live.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up in Pakistan, it was not easy because Pakistan is also Pakistan hosts millions of refugees, but particularly Hazaras migrate there.
Mm-hmm.
And after 2000, when 9/11 happened, after that, the situation got really bad in Afghanistan. The rise of extremists in Pakistan also impacted millions of people. And particularly Hazaras, because Hazaras were the prime target for many extremist networks. And that is when, in 2013, the second generation of refugee in Pakistan, also me become refugee again. So I escaped from Pakistan and I went to Indonesia. In order, like I was hoping to go to Australia to join my other siblings who went there. But unfortunately or fortunately, it did not happen. So I was stuck in Indonesia for 3 years and 15 days.
Okay. You've done so many amazing things, and I just don't know where to start and what to ask about. But I've also heard that you were involved in a sport in Pakistan as well, and you were a champion and you brought medals. Tell me a little
Yes.
about that.
When I growing up, there was very little opportunity in Pakistan.
Yeah.
And one way to get out of that small community, or that small community that has been created for us, was sports. Sports gave me the opportunity to travel around Pakistan, to go to different states. Sports gave me the opportunity to communicate with other people. And sports gave me, it was not only just to do karate. I was doing karate. It was not just doing karate, but it also was it was like a tool connecting me to other people, other communities. So yes, I did karate for many years. And I was invited to Pakistan national team. I did
Wow.
play in Islamabad, and we were preparing for South Asian Games. So yes, in Pakistan, I won medals, but I never bring that anywhere else. I never share this part of my life with anyone, because I think, now reflecting back, I think me and my friends, we did so much contributing to Pakistan in terms of like to the society, to the communities, but in return, we haven't got anything back. In return, the community, I lost my friends, people who we used to play. They got killed. So that was when I decided to leave. Also, I thought, what is the point of doing sports when you are not able to go to visit your family during the break? What's the point of doing sports when traveling by bus, you cover your head with a scarf, basically, to avoid your identity?
Yeah.
And what is the point of doing sports when you cannot walk on the street? because of your facial features, you know, like your face.
Yeah.
So and then now also reflecting back, I think karate did not give me anything in general except allowing me to travel to meet people. And I appreciate the beauty of Pakistan. It's a beautiful country. It is with beautiful people, but unfortunately, the rise of extremists uh, damaged or destroyed lots of lives, you know, and took lots of lives. So that's unfortunate. Um, but that was part of my life. Now I moved.
Yeah, but I still think you should be proud of this part of your life, because you worked hard. You brought pride and honor to your not only your own family, but also like Pakistan in general. It is unfortunate that you didn't get anything in return, and you weren't respected, and you still have to hide. But I still think you should be very proud. Uh, but
I was 2 months ago. I was in Pakistan. I was looking at the pictures, like with medals and everything. I was looking at that and I was thinking, like, I don't know what I was thinking on that time.
mm,
Now my world is totally different. I don't even think about sports. I see sports as more as a fun than as a something, as a passion. I was so crazy about karate that the day when my brother got married,
yeah.
it was his wedding day. And instead of going to his wedding, I went for a competition. Can you imagine?
Uh, well, it must have
I
been
skipped.
important back then.
I skipped the wedding, even though it was my brother's wedding, and I skipped that and I went for the competition because I was crazy about this game, and
Yeah.
I all I was caring was about to be champion and to fight. But at some point I realized that I'm going in the wrong direction. I think karate is nothing to do with the fight. It's about respect. It's about it's about knowing people.
Exactly.
When this does not communicate with the rest of the population in Pakistan, then what is the point of doing it? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when I stopped. I was like, okay, that's it. And of course, there were some other incident happened that forced me to stop. But I was also realizing that the message is not communicating. It's
Yeah.
not happening.
Yeah. So when you were forced to stop,
Hello.
can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes. Sorry.
Sorry. So when you were forced to leave Pakistan again, and when you stopped practicing karate, tell us a little bit about your journey in Indonesia, because that's, I think, is the best part that kind of made you who you are right now.
Yes.
You've done a couple of cool things, and I'll just let you tell us what you did, what you created.
Well, so I left Pakistan 2013, right after the bomb blast that killed many of my classmates at the school and my friends. That's when I left. I went to Thailand and then Malaysia, and then by boat I went to Indonesia. In Indonesia, I made a few friends. What I was looking for was to me personally was learn something, you know. And I ended up, I think, maybe by chance or maybe somehow I was thinking about raising my voice, you know. That was the main thing that got me where I am right now.
Yeah.
It was about, all I was asking question about myself is like, to asking question from myself was that Australian peoples, since we are going to Australia, Australians have the right to ask us a question about who we are. They have the right to ask that question, and it is our responsibility to answer that question, who we are and where we came from. I think that's nothing to do. That's nothing bad. That's actually opening the conversation.
Yes.
That is what I was thinking, and then that is when I decided to make a film. I got a used mobile phone and I started filming my life in Indonesia. Actually, it was my roommate's life, but through their life, I was telling my own story, and that film actually changed my life. That's why I'm in Los Angeles right now. That because of that short film,
Yeah.
And that short film also, I think, brought a community together.
Yes.
That was the start, you know. And then my friend Muzaffar, Liaqat, Ali Changezi, and Asad Shadan, and of course yourself, you know. So we all together, our main concern was, the next concern was to the education, you know, to
Yeah.
provide education for the kids. And that's when my friends and I was there just as a cheering leader, I think. But so we started a school, you know, the school that is now it's a big school. Around 200 to 300 people are now benefiting from that place. And then yourself started the other school, and I'm actually proud of calling you also my brother, because I remember when I met you in Indonesia, and that was the peak of the time that all the attention was towards Tichisarwa, because of that school, because of the success that we brought.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I was part of a community, part of a team that started a school.
Yeah.
And in that school changed many lives and are changing,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm proud. And making a film about the school, which is the staging post. I was the cinematographer and also the subject of the film. Then besides helping to run the school day to day, I was also making videos and partnering with other artists, which we did exhibited the work in Australia, in Europe, and that also helped a lot in terms of raising the voice, or telling these stories, or sharing these stories. So I'm glad about my
Yeah.
journey.
Just to recap, you were a champion in Quetta, Pakistan, and you came to Indonesia and you co-founded probably the first refugee school. And then just as a background, Khadim is the co-founder of CRLC, and I later on co-founded RLC. And then he also made a movie called The Staging Post, which you guys have to really check out, because it's a really great film about refugees in Indonesia, Cisarua specifically, what we do, our daily life, and also the schools that were active there. And like Khadim said, that movie and that film like changed his life. And that movie kind of brought him to Los Angeles for Khadim to study film seriously. And tell us about that. What are you doing right now?
Okay.
What are you
So
doing? What are your goals?
so in Indonesia, it started everything. Actually, I'm always thinking that when I become refugee in Indonesia, that's where I found myself.
Mm.
Maybe for many, it is the opposite, that when
Yeah.
people become refugee, they lose themselves. But for me, it was the opposite. I found myself in Indonesia. I
Mm.
found that I think my life has nothing to do with karate. It's nothing to do with the sports. It is about this telling these stories.
Yeah.
And also I found that I have the eye, I have the capacity and the capability to tell the story. So the films that I made in Indonesia brought me here in Los Angeles, and now I'm actually graduating next year from the university. It's called California Institute of the Arts. I study film, and of course my dream is now to make films. You know, that's why I'm here. But currently I'm working on my first feature length film that I'm directing myself, and also a friend of mine from Europe is producing, and the executive producer is an Australian friend of mine. So this is going to be my first feature length film that we are currently working on it, and I'm also graduating next year, which I'm very excited, because I realized that I'm not a good student, and I'm tired of being at the university, you know. So I'm looking forward to the day to be done with the school, and go go outside, and in the real world. So
All right.
yeah.
So I've asked a couple of people this question, but for our refugee friends who are watching right now in Indonesia, Malaysia, Turkey, wherever, what piece of advice would you give them, like learning from your life in Indonesia or Pakistan? I still remember the morning when you were flying to the US, and you spent an hour just lecturing me and telling me what to do and how to follow my dreams and what to do. I still remember that. So I just want to ask you, like, what advice do you have for our refugee friends? What would you tell them who are stuck right now?
For refugee friends, I think I have, don't lose hope, doesn't matter whether you're stuck in the refugee camp or outside of the refugee camp in the communities.
Yeah.
There is always something beyond those walls that you are, and never lose hope, because you had hope when you left your home, and losing that in the middle of in the transit, I think it's not something refugees should, they should not lose their hope. That's all I can say. And apart from that, I think what is most important for refugees are when they are in limbo, like for example in Indonesia, they should focus on learning. That is the time, I think that is the perfect time to learn, to improve their language skill.
Yep.
If they have time to study English or any other language, doesn't matter, any language, if they can learn and improve that will be something that will solve their problem and they resettle anywhere. That is the first thing that I think that they should do. The second thing is keep working on what you used to do at home. If you're an artist, just keep working, If you're a filmmaker, like a photographer, if you used to be a photographer back home, keep taking pictures. I remember my friend Muzaffar Ali, a very good photographer. I respect him as a photographer. Once he told me that the photographer is not only just having a camera to take pictures, you have an eye, just take a picture with your eye, just to see and admire things. And I still remember that. And I think I'll tell the same thing. If you're a photographer, if you're an artist, if you're a tailor, just keep practicing, because once you arrive in a country like America or Canada, life is not easy. I think the challenges will just start when you arrive in America or Canada, because it is a totally different place, different environment, and instead of us walking like the rest of the citizen here, we have to run to catch up with life here.
That's very true.
And that needs stamina. That needs a long work to create that stamina. In order to create that stamina, you have to work while you're a refugee in transits in Indonesia or any other places. You keep working to make yourself ready when you come to America or Canada. Otherwise, when you come here, and if you don't have that stamina, if you don't have that
inspiration,
the preparation, then you will end up depressed. You will end up depressed. You will deal with a lot of difficulties. So that is my advice for refugees, that please, wherever you are, don't lose hope, and also keep working. In terms of like whatever you do, keep working and also learn the language. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, that's very good advice. Yeah, that's great advice. I agree with everything that you said. But that is our time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abdullah John. Thank you so much for having me.
I wish we had more time, and I keep wanted to ask you more questions. Hopefully we can do that in the future, but
in the future, yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Abdullah John. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.